because we made her talk about the tough stuff here. So you can just talk about whatever you want, Nina. What do you think will be the biggest factor in this matchup?
I'll give my brother Marcus an early Christmas gift. The Ravens need to run the damn ball. And I realize saying that about the Baltimore Ravens is pretty obvious. That is what they do. But I think it's worth stressing versus a Niners defense that has been weirdly bad against the run this year. You saw that against the Arizona Cardinals, giving up 234 yards on the ground. But it's been an issue all season long, even when their starting defensive tackles play. They rank bottom 5 on inside runs versus runs that use motion versus when they tackle in the open field. And by God, that's Baltimore's music because they are extraordinarily good at all of those things, which is why I think this is actually a pretty good matchup for them on that side of the ball. They just need to lean into their strengths and do what they do best, and that's pound that rock.
Swagoo.
I love it, MK. I love it so much. But Mary, didn't you know about Lamar Jackson's legs and how he can slow down linebackers? First of all, if you love linebacker play, you about to be in linebacker heaven when we watch this game. But I like the way that Lamar uses his legs in order to slow Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw down. When those guys are able to play fast and downhill, that's when this defense becomes absolutely devastating when they have a beat. But 8 can make them play honest, like we saw Jalen Hurts do last year in that NFC Championship game. I have to believe that's the plan going forward for the Baltimore Ravens in this game.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Lamar Jackson.
Random Christmas phrases. That's where we are.
Hey, honestly, though, the thing I want to say about Lamar, I heard, Marcus talks about his legs, but if this run game gets going, what does Lamar do above the X's and O's? And Dan talks about this a lot. The quarterbacks you can win because of. That's what Lamar Jackson has to be in the critical moments of this game. You look at the second quarter last week on that 2-minute drive, and Lamar Jackson with the 2-point conversion after throwing the football to Zay Flowers against the Los Angeles Rams. In those crucial moments, he's been the best player on the field. The thing that can separate these two teams is one guy has a quarterback that's operating at a high level within the scheme, and one guy has a quarterback that can operate on any level outside of the scheme. If Lamar Jackson does that at the right time, that can be the thing to help this team win.
And this is a San Francisco defense that has always struggled with quarterbacks who can move. I look at San Francisco offensively right now like we did the Chiefs maybe 3 or 4 years ago, guys. Remember, you were playing against Patrick Mahomes. You weren't going to beat him kicking field goals, and you had to steal possessions. I don't think, as good as this Ravens defense is, you can stop San Francisco offensively. I think Harbaugh's mentality and Monken's mentality has got to be, we're in attack mode. We cannot win this game unless we score 35 points. So I do think it's going to be huge for them in that 3rd to 4th down situation moment. Do we go for this on 4th down? Because we can't kick the field goal, even though Tucker's great. How do we steal a possession? I think that's the only way you beat San Francisco. You don't stop them. You
100%.
outscore them.
All right, let's look at the picks. And once again, Santa is going against the grain. But he's on the North Pole. He's got the magic. I don't know. That's going with the Ravens, Swagoo. Last word?
I just have a tremendous belief in Lamar Jackson in these type of games. He always seems to be the guy that evens it out. You leave, and RC, take a picture so they can start using you as that little ornament on top of wedding cakes. Because that outfit is absolutely perfect.
Frosty the Snowman pick.
I got it from here. How about this? Merry Christmas. Now, for Week 16 Locks and Keys, we break down the weekend's big games with something we guarantee will happen. That is an absolute lock, and then something that's going to play a big role in determining the outcome. That is a key. So the Falcons host the Colts, one of 3 games this week that ESPN Analytics projects to be a near coin flip in terms of who's going to actually win the game. All 3 of these games, though, have significant playoff implications. Taylor Heineke back under center for the Falcons. Colts running back, we just learned, Jonathan Taylor, he is a full go for this one. So, Dan, what do you believe is a lock for this game?
That this Atlanta defense is going to see no huddle tempo, and that's a little bit rare in the NFL. Indy will run no huddle. They get up to the line of scrimmage. They're going to run their RPOs. Gardner Minshew's going to try to create some seams to a Michael Pittman Jr. Atlanta's defense, it is a lock. You are going to see tempo. It is going to be a lock that you're going to see multiple plays that have similar looks that have different results after it.
RC, what's the key?
You know what? I love that Dan mentioned the RPO game because I think it's the run game for the Indianapolis Colts. When you go back to last week and you got to watch Goodson and Sermon finish that game off against the Pittsburgh Steelers, it shows you how effective they can be no matter the runner. Now with Jonathan Taylor back, getting into that RPO game with Gardner Minshew is even better. We've seen Gardner keep it on the run, but more likely he's going to pull it and throw the football downfield.
Well, none of us have faith in the Falcons. We're all on the Colts. Indy's won 5 of 6. They are in the 7th spot.
Have you seen the Falcons play offense?
Yeah, no, I did. That's why none of us picked them. Of course.
Unfortunately.
The Bengals are at the Steelers tomorrow. Cincy's won 3 straight. Steelers, as we well know, have lost 3 in a row. They did beat the Bengals, by the way, back in Week 12, but that was just Jake.
Yeah, we're a different
first
team
start.
now.
They are. Bengals don't have Jamar Chase. Come on, RC. But Pittsburgh has lost 4 of 5. Mike Tomlin is now going to start Mason Rudolph at quarterback. We know all about the drama there this week. Mina, what is a lock to happen in this game?
Jake Browning is going to throw that ball very quickly. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like a 2.5-second time to throw. As you see here, he's been very, very quick to throw the ball since becoming the starter, and he's been very good at it, by the way. He's super decisive and accurate and quick game. It's their best chance of mitigating Steelers' pass rush that, of course, is led by T.J. Watt. Get the ball to your playmakers in space, even if one of those playmakers, Jamar Chase, isn't on the field.
It's a lock. I'm going to turn to the wrong camera at least once in the show. Dan, what is the key?
The key is Pittsburgh's defense and explosive pass plays. This is shocking. They are bottom 5 in the NFL defensively when it comes to giving up explosive plays. I would have not guessed that in a world with a player like T.J. Watt on their defense. So to Mina's point, if he gets it out of his hands, they got to go tackle well. And if he takes his shot to T. Higgins, they got to make sure they contend the ball downfield.
Time now for our picks, and Dan is the only one on the Steelers, which that just speaks volumes about our.
Well, I've lost. Don't say it speaks volumes about me. He says I want to do my job and be right, Hannah.
Yeah, it speaks volumes about them. It speaks volumes about your team. It speaks volumes in general.
Hannah, most of the time in my NFL career, I played on bad teams.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh was a team that we had like this admiration for. At least I did.
Back in the day.
It feels like a game that Mike Tomlin just rallies his guys and they go out there and try to represent him.
All right.
The way that they should and find a way to win.
Been a rough week. All right, let's hope they do that. Meanwhile, the Lions are at the Vikings in the early window Christmas Eve. The first matchup of the season of these division rivals. The Lions matching a season high. They dropped 42 on the Broncos. 5 Jared Goff touchdowns. A Vikings start Nick Mullins again coming off their overtime loss at Cincinnati. RC, the lock for this one.
Ooh, Brian Flores gonna bring that pressure. he gonna bust a pipe or he gonna make a diamond. You know, when you're playing against the Minnesota Vikings, they're gonna be a pressure team, and they do it in all kind of different ways. There's hot blitzes, there's zero blitzes, there's man blitzes, there's simulated blitzes, and it's gonna be incumbent on Jared Goff to not only handle those blitzes, but make the correct decision into where the football should go. And when we watch the Brian Flores-led Minnesota Vikings, it picks up each and every game.
Mina, what's the key? You got to follow that.
Well, I swear we didn't talk beforehand, but my key was, how does Jared Goff handle the blitz? The last time he played a Brian Flores defense in Miami, they picked him off twice and strip sacked him twice, Ryan. So it is like encountering an old foe. That defense was a little bit different. They played a lot more man behind their blitzes, but it's still going to be a challenge for a quarterback in Jared Goff who has been good against extra pressure this year. But this is a test like the likes of which he has not faced.
And thusly, we all think the Lions will win this one. They would clinch the division for the first time since 1993. We were just kidding earlier. Mina, you were 8, right? 1993.
Yeah.
The baby.
Yes, she was. Just a
Young.
genius. All right, let's take a look at ESPN Bet Parlay Plus for this game. And for that, we go to Marcus. How old were you? No, that's okay. Let's start with Jared Goff. Over under 252 and a half passing yards. Swagoo, Jared Goff. Over
Like my famous Instagram guy, Desi. Let's go, Parlay. Twas the night before over for Jared Goff. The man about to push the ball down the field. I just heard RC and Mina talk about the pressure and how he's going to handle it from Brian Flores. I think he's going to handle it well based on what I saw last week to the tune of 63 points. I'm going Goff over 250, 260.5.
Okay. 2 false endings there. Okay. Over under 80 and a half receiving yards for Justin Jefferson.
Ooh.
I like this one.
Mary over. Mary over. I'm
He's
going
in
Justin
the
Jefferson
Santa
going over.
Swagoo spirit.
I'm in the Christmas spirit.
He's
Listen,
giving.
Justin Jefferson coming back, obviously had an injury coming back. He's going to want to play big and have a really good game. And obviously, if they have any shot at getting the W, he's going to have to be a big part of what they're going to do offensively from an explosive play standpoint, because I think that's the only way that the Minnesota Vikings have a chance.
All right, you're so jolly during this segment. I think I know where you're going to go here. How about over under 48.5 rushing yards for Jahmyr Gibbs?
Silent night over. Okay? Jahmyr Gibbs, did y'all see him? Did y'all see him against Chicago? Did y'all see him against Chicago? The explosiveness that this dude runs the football with. All he needs is like 2 or 3 carries for explosive plays to go over 48 yards, and they may catch him in the blitz, and he'll handle his business. I'm going over.
Jingle
Make y'all
bells.
money, parlay. Make y'all money.
Gingerbread man under.
I mean, silent